You wake up, it's just a normal day, but when you check your bank account, the balance is zero, gone, every cent. You panic. You didn't make any weird purchases. You didn't lose your card. So what happened? Here's the terrifying part. It wasn't your mistake. It was your bank's. This is a story of a group called Carbanak, one of the most dangerous cyber criminal organizations the world has ever seen. These guys didn't break into bank vaults with guns. They broke in using emails, computers, malware, and they walked away with over $1 billion. The question is, how did they do this? It started in 2013. Somewhere in Eastern Europe, a group of hackers launched a quiet campaign. They targeted more than 100 banks and financial institutions around the world. But they didn't go loud. No brute force attacks, no denial of service. They played the long game. Carbanak used something called spear phishing. Think of it like phishing, but on steroids. Regular phishing is those sketchy emails you get from a Nigerian prince. But spear phishing is customized, handcrafted emails that look legit and are aimed at specific people. They will send a bank employee an email that looked like it came from their HR department. Maybe it said, "You received a job performance review, open the attached file to view," or a complaint, or a file that needed urgent approval. Once the employee clicked, game over, the malware was in. This wasn't noisy malware that locks your files or flashes warnings. It was silent. It sat in the background, watching, learning. It recorded what employees typed. It watched their screens. It figured out how the bank system worked, down to the buttons tellers clicked to move money or operate ATMs. They didn't need to steal customers' passwords. They became the employees themselves. Now the interesting part. They would log in remotely and act like a bank worker. One who knew exactly what to do because they'd been watching for weeks, remember, right? They could order ATM to spit out cash at certain locations, and they had people, money mules, waiting to grab the cash. Sometimes ATMs would just start spewing bills in the middle of the night. In other cases, they transferred millions of dollars into fake bank accounts they controlled. They even altered bank accounts temporarily so that the money seemed to still be there until it vanished. This wasn't one or two banks. Carbanak hit over 30 countries. Russia, US, Germany, China, Ukraine, Japan, UK, the list goes on. And it didn't stop there. The gang evolved over time. They built new tools, launched new attacks, and they grew into a full-blown cybercrime business. They had recruiters, HR department, pay structures. They weren't just hackers. They were executives running a shadow company worth hundreds of millions. They called themselves Carbanak. The name came from the malware they used, a combination of Carbanak, an old banking Trojan, and Nanunak, a tool used in advanced attacks. For years, global law enforcement chased ghosts. The hackers moved between countries. They covered their tracks. But finally in 2018, after a 5-year international manhunt, the suspected leader of Carbanak was arrested in Spain. But here's the thing. Even though some leaders were caught, the tools they built are still out there. The knowledge they used, that's online now. Variants of their malware have been spotted in the wild. Rebranded, repurposed, and reused. Carbanak wasn't just a gang, it was a wake-up call. It wasn't teenagers in the basement. This was cybercrime evolving, becoming professional, organized, scalable. And if they could take down the biggest banks, what makes you think your money, your job, your information isn't a target? This was the $1 billion hack. This was Carbanak. Subscribe to After Breach for more real cybercrime stories. Thanks for watching.